Do you remember me now?
Ah, cool. Welcome to the Nerd vs. Critic panel.
Thanks for coming out. Good night.
Who is the first? See, we're fans.
Yeah.
So I just introduce myself or
Yeah.
my background?
Well, yeah, we're talking about journalism.
Yeah, so for journalism, I'm Mike Birdman Dodd. I represent Clear Channel Radio in the U.S., Vista Radio in Canada, Astro Radio on News Talk 1010, and I freelance for multiple other outlets and whatnot. I've been quoted in the Toronto Star, and I've been on CP24, Much Music, Global Television, CTV, and I piss people off on a regular basis. That is what I do. I mostly podcast and do radio. That would be my expertise. So to my pride.
Hi, I'm Todd Davison, aka Todd in the Shadows. Right now, my job is doing music reviews on the internet. Before that, I actually did have a journalism degree in, old print journalism. So I actually had experience on both sides of this.
My name is Lindsay. They put the journalism
For the celebrity draw.
Yeah, I have a lot of experience in documentary. Yeah, award-winning documentary.
Yes.
My name is Paul, and I'm a college dropout.
You have a press pass.
I do.
Yeah, sometimes
I'm fully accredited in Canada. But not so much on the journalistic side, though I do script writing and screenplays, I suppose you call that editing. But I'm mostly on the videography side of work, so I will speak for the media side and shoots.
I'm Joey Senna. I probably best known for a couple of web shows, 16 Gems and Canadian's work. Most of them is in regular TV, but as part of media coverage, I'm also I'm director of operations for Regular TV and have covered events like PAX East and so yeah. Woo.
I don't know. Ask Todd questions.
Well, I guess one thing we should maybe talk about is how journalism relates to our jobs, or basically what we do.
Or does it at all? Because I've heard arguments on both sides.
Like for me, for example, I use my ability in radio to get free stuff. But without getting new games, I can't review them.
So you use your journalism to get free media.
Yeah,
Well, that's what journalists do. Like I've worked with many professional journalists. Man, he was all about the swag.
Oh yeah.
Like go to like Comic Cons or press releases or whatever.
I mean, it really helps to get the swag, and that's not the main reason I do this though. Mostly. I'm not gonna lie, it helps pay the rent.
Yeah.
But it's really cool though the fact that you can do this. Although there are some outlets that don't allow you to keep the stuff that you get, like Joysticks one, for example. That's how they can do so many Joy swags. Because whenever they get a game in the office, they play it and throw it back out. Whereas some freelancers like myself, free game, that's $60. You can throw full groceries after you're done with it. So I use that. I also use it to get access to stuff. Sometimes I like to do exclusives. One of my bigger ones this year was Mass Effect 3, and I got that game a week before it came out. And we were one of the first outlets on that guy to get that game review out the door. We beat IGN by 3 or 4 hours. That was impressive for me. I stayed here for 40 hours to beat that game. It was, well, I don't know if it was worth it.
Well, I would have anyway. But
Yeah, I would have anyway. I've been here by this game. But it's cool though the fact that you can use your abilities. I mean, like you don't have to be on like a CNN or an AOL or whatever to get out cool stories. You can be just like us on a web show and use journalistic abilities to get stuff, get stories out there. And you get a lot. You get to do a lot of really cool things. Maybe in Hands of Tongue with Spike TV last year, or the year before last, to cover the MT or the Spike TV Video Game Awards with Joe. Talk about that debacle. I love that man, but no. And yeah, like like, it's cool though, because like you don't have to have a degree, like say Todd here, to get stuff like this. If you have an educational background, it helps. But if you're professional, people will credit you and say, hey, you're not an asshole. Here's a press badge. Please come to the event. Respect this embargo. And here you go. Yes. How can I get free stuff, Mike?
Well, no, exactly. How did we all get to this point? At some point, we were ordinary schlubs, and now we're slightly less ordinary schlubs. Yeah.
Well,
and I can get press passes. How did that happen?
Well,
Passes are easy.
how I did it,
Oh, my God.
for example, is you find out what company represents a certain product. Because a lot of companies don't have their own internal PR stuff. For example, Microsoft in Canada does not. They go through a different company called Hiring Communications, and you email them and say, "Hi, my name is so and so. I'm a journalist. I would like to cover this this event. Would you please allow me access?" The things I find that you say, here are keywords. I will give you coverage, which means, you know, here's a blog link, a clipping, whatever. I will give you an air check if you happen to do broadcast, and you send it to them. Just promise them air checks and coverage, and usually they'll help you out. Another thing I do is if you have really big numbers, for example, like say, hi, I get 20 to 30,000 unique hits on my website every day or whatever, give them numbers. People like numbers because I have a professional public relations background. We want to hit the most amount of people we possibly can. It's not necessarily whether we respect your outlet or not. It comes down to numbers, frankly. And that's why you might see one blog get into an event and one that might not. It comes down to numbers. It's not necessarily a matter of respectability, though that does play a certain factor into it too.
I know, especially for E3, they check your. I mean, you have to have like a license, a business license. If you're on the website, you have to, you know, have samples of your writing, and also they will check your hits, and they will give you your press passes depending on how many hits your website gets. You know, so if you're IGN, you know, if you're Retroware, you can get maybe half a dozen.
Yeah, I mean, with that too, I find that with events like E3, they're a lot more harsh on websites because it is easily measurable. Whereas in radio, we have something called Q, which is how many people you're hitting per hour or per quarter hour. You can usually find that from the station manager, and they'll let you do that. Like I, for example, hit 45,000 per quarter hour when I'm broadcast through Ohio. That's what I'm primarily known for in that market. I take place in the same city as Glee. Yay. Go get 'em, Lima.
Wait, you're from Ohio?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh no, I know. That's where most of my stuff is broadcast. Like I'm broadcast in Cincinnati, Cleveland, etc. Yeah, I mean, I find it's not so hard to get, like I said, press badges and press releases if you're really nice, but it takes a long time to build up that audience before you will start getting free stuff. And that's what I find a lot of people get into the online reviewing, and that's the wrong idea.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, like,
Although then Lisa did get some free wine. For that vampire wine thing she just did.
I mean, the coolest thing I've ever gotten for free.
Or is it like the free stuff panel?
Like the coolest thing I've ever gotten, and I like the company, I'm just not so sure if I was so happy with the build, is I got this huge Gears of War replica Lancer. It was like $1,000. Sent it to me. I never thought I'd get something that big before. And it takes a long time to get stuff. Like people will throw you Xbox Live games like there's no more. Because it doesn't cost me anything to generate codes typically. But I don't know, one of the things with the new media thing is that I find you really gotta be in this for the right reasons. Like to inform, educate, and to have some fun too.
Yeah, well, you know, you have to, even if you know, we're us, we're just like online, throw jokes at you, but you always, it helps to consider yourself as a professional, and you have to get things accurate, because you never know. Like, I know a guy who just writes me reviews for some other guy's website, and, you know, when he found out, you know, he's being cited on Wikipedia for DVD releases and movies and stuff, and like, you know, it's like, gosh, I hope I checked these facts correctly, because, you know, now it's on Wikipedia, that's the way it works now on the internet, and that's basically the Bible of everything.
Anything you say might be taken as law.
Yeah.
Like my favorite new website. It's called Literally Unbelievable, and it's
Are these the guys that
yeah,
it's like
it's
actual
like
factual?
Facebook responses to people who don't understand. I mean, it is So it would be like 1 in 5 American people were Obama is a cactus.
Yeah.
And these people would be like, oh my god, people are stupid.
They sure are.
Here's the thing, because the Onion, I know in Toronto they have a newspaper company, and not anymore.
Well, they're getting rid of it.
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah, but
Brings us on this
I
thing.
guess in my mind, when you read a paper, you know it's like fact. Like someone has, you relate it to actual newspapers. This is right beside.
You're willing to believe it. So just for the
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a gradient of people. Some people don't understand sarcasm / satire. Because I know a lot of times I would, like, if I make like a sarcastic tweet, like, or I think I said something like, I can't tell, I think the other day I said something like, I can't tell if people are being sarcastic when they ask me if I'm being sarcastic. And someone, like, I had several people being like,
Sarcasm translates very poorly.
yeah. Well, I mean,
That's why they invented the movie.
Yes.
even then, I feel like there's, you know, like in episodes, it's like when you actually see someone's face and like a lot of but yeah, I going back to the journalism discussion, I guess I had seen a lot of discussions online as to, because since internet reviewing is sort of like this bastard love child of Mystery Science Theater and actual criticism, and a lot of people would be like, are you critics or are you comedians? You know?
And it's hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like Doug he's a comedian, like that criticizes, and
Well, I guess himself.
yeah. Well, I don't know. He doesn't. He's just. I don't know. I look at Doug and I'm like, he's a performer. He does often. Yeah. He's a comedian and a performer. Because I mean, he has like serious opinions. I guess he just doesn't really have the background, and his interests are. Yeah. I mean, his interests are definitely more in the writing and performing.
I think that's how most people view us, as more as performers than actual, like, sort of serious journalists.
Yeah,
Or,
like his Mike here, when you hear him on the radio, and he's a serious person. But you know, the lines between serious and not serious are very blurred nowadays.
Yeah.
Because I told you, I mean, I worked at a real newspaper, and just because it comes from a publication, a real publication, doesn't mean it's real.
Ebert is on.
Yeah.
I enjoy this. Like, I feel like, especially since he, you know, had cancer, he's kind of got a better sleep now.
Yeah.
So I guess that, you know, kind of brings out the joy of life in you.
Yeah.
He's a successful comedy journalist.
I've got diabetes. Does that count?
Yeah.
Comedy and diabetes.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Oh, the best comedians have like little backstories.
That's true.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Mine
that's
should be
true.
hilarious.
That's
We all have
like,
our broken homes.
yeah, we all have like.
yeah.
Wade, bring up the
I think it's just like
Free stuff.
Some of her chili, free flowers and fuel.
and sandwiches.
So yeah, so journal. I don't know. Does anyone have any questions or looking for discussion?
Do you find out the newspaper comedy kind of conceals your opinions?
Yes.
That's why.
Like, you can totally trash something out of
Because otherwise it's like,
oh, but it's all good fun.
Yeah, but I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, sorry.
It's because I want to just be like, I'm more like the educational type. It's like I could write treatises and theses all day long, but who would listen to it? So it's like, okay, important point. Joke. Get it? Okay, now I have your attention again. Point.
Yeah.
That's the spoonful of sugar.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the kind of thing that people like Jon Stewart have really thrived with, is that they put out, they have opinions and they have sorts to talk about, but it's wrapped in entertainment, so it's
So it's almost like a full
It's
in
never
our
audience.
audience.
Yeah.
It's like, you
Yeah.
know, you're gonna learn. It's like the Sesame Street method. It's like you're gonna learn, but you're gonna have so much fun learning it, you're not even gonna realize what you've absorbed.
Yeah, and it's so odd to me because I love the Daily Show. I feel like I would talk in similar manners as Jon Stewart and about similar things. Like if there's a political topic and like you know kind of do I don't know what it is about the internet. Like I get like stop pushing your political political agenda under dirt. And I'm like, I made a joke! Jesus, fuckers. Die. Stop breeding.
Yeah.
Yeah, the internet's frustrating.
Yeah.
Alright,
Steampunk.
yeah, we'll move to the
Oh, yeah,
left.
so it's Fahrenheit on Celsius or Celsius on Fahrenheit?
Celsius on Fahrenheit. The one thing that's very different about you kind of self-publish yourself.
Mhm.
We were talking yesterday on the girls panel about the swearing.
Mhm.
You won't see on traditional media somebody say, that is fucking bad, that is fucking crap. You're gonna say it. I think you basically all said it about something at some point.
Yeah.
I work fucking clean.
I get away with saying that on radio and they can censor me.
I've started
That's true.
censoring because Blip told us that we probably should. And we
Yeah,
like
for the sake of our
we like
advertisers.
money.
Eh, fuck
Yeah.
those guys.
No,
I'm
I
down
mean
to
it's
that.
for advertising.
We just bleep ourselves.
No, they didn't say we had to do it. They were just like, you know, Red Letter Media, for instance, got dropped by Chevrolet because of an extended ejaculation scene. If you watch their
I
reviews,
remember that
yeah,
scene.
you know what I'm talking about.
Wait, watch some hot shit right there.
Yeah.
Please tell me more.
And
Fortunately, Ford picked them up right after that.
So we were, and they were like, well, I made their ad revenue go down. I was like, well, I don't value the F-bomb to the point where I will lose money.
So you're gonna
Yeah.
have like
See,
a dollar amount. on
whereas
it.
I do. I will.
Well, I still say it. I just bleep because I feel like bleeping is funny.
Yes. You know, you say, you know, traditional media sources, you won't drop the F-bomb. Well, you know, in the alternative weeklies you will. And you know what? We're adults. This is not, no one's picking up the New York Times and gonna, because
It's-
my children read this.
Well, I think they also
Shut
see it's
pickle.
like cursing is sort of like lowbrow. It's like, oh, this guy doesn't even know what
Right,
he
yeah.
That a fully formed opinion, he has to interject and fuck
That
with
is
much
true.
more.
Like I feel like it does. There's something in the brain that's like if you're cursing, you're kind of a moron.
Yeah, there is. There is a bit of that.
It's like responding in debate class. Someone gives you like a fully formed argument. You're just like,
Fuck
well,
you.
fuck you.
Right, you know, they don't drop the F-bomb. Like, they can't even say, you know, quote someone else quoting the F-bomb, which is, like, very silly to me. You know, but it's only blue hairs that read newspapers anymore anyway, so.
Blue hairs.
Yeah.
You had one?
Yeah, just internet reviewing and so forth seem to go more hand in hand with like entertainment, journalism and so forth. Do you see a
Definitely.
future for it in talking about, say, business or news or
That would
other
be
examples
interesting.
of
There
that?
is a girl in Canada who talks about business, and she's 12,
Yeah.
and it's so well informed. So yeah, I totally see. Like, if you're entertaining, you can make anything interesting.
I know
Yeah,
what
there's
you're
a
talking about.
there's a great site called Popad, which is hilarious. It only deals with legal matters. And
It's one of the great things about like this kind of media is like you see someone talking on TV, it's like I can make a better video than this clown. And it's like now you can do it, and everyone will see it.
yeah, that's the great thing about here is like you are free from a lot of the professional restraints that you would have in a traditional.
You don't have to worry about copy editors. We don't have to worry about.
And then, of course, that has its disadvantages too, obviously. but-
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
bloggers but
Doug can't spell.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know
That's
this.
true. A little bit.
That he cannot spell. Like whenever you put up the last Too Boldly Flee trailer, if you look at the Blip URL, it still says Too Boldly Flee. And he changed it like I told him.
It's a lot of
But yeah, I mean, since the advent of YouTube, really, I guess 6 years ago, it's not being with writing. It's like, yeah, anyone can talk about whatever, just because everyone can do it. That means none of us know what we're talking about. I think that's just a monetization
Well, I think
of
it's
opinion.
getting. Well, I mean, like I feel like I've seen it evolve.
Oh, it is.
And I feel like there's a reason why, you know, like AVG and Nostalgia Critic exploded, but then Red Letter Media started getting big, and Red Letter Media was a lot more subdued and academic and professional looking. Whereas like you know, it was more analysis oriented. So I'll see like some of the people that are kind of shepherding that aren't on Channel Awesome, like they're kind of more in that vein because I feel like the whole analysis thing is just sort of starting to get to its own, and the different ways, like it's kind of splintering almost.
Do you think things are kind of moving away from like the classic screaming?
Classic screaming,
definitely.
Yeah, honestly, yes.
There's actually one guy on our site, and I'm really happy to see the way he's evolved. When I first met Joe, I wasn't.
Joe, angry.
Yeah, Joe, angry.
Okay.
I wasn't super impressed with the way he was approaching some of his stuff very early on. His stuff looked great, but now as I've seen him evolve, go to a few E3s, stuff like that, take a few blows from people in the media. I really respect the way that he's coming around as a journalist. When he does interviews, he's excited, but he's asking questions that people want to know. And he's one of the guys where I'm really happy. He's really
He's very much a man of the people.
It's funny because sometimes I'll watch his videos and I'll be like, you know, so like, cause like sometimes I think he's very good at it. He'll start talking about like, then the chick showed up, man, her, and I was like, there it is. Never.
Yeah, he's definitely stepped away towards more like less comedy, more actual journalism.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about Joe.
Well, that's the thing when you're doing what we do is like a combination of both. You kind of have to do it like the Daily Show. Like you have your main point, then you dress it up with jokes, but you dress it up with entertainment. But you have to be accurate as possible because this is kind of journalistic. It is kind of something you have to be accurate about. It's like you can't just like make up shit for fun.
Yeah,
like
because if you get shit wrong, this is it's on the internet.
Yeah. I mean,
well, speaking as someone that has journalism, just because it's your not just because you'll piss people off, just because you owe it to the people whose work you're covering. Like you can.
You have a responsibility to your audience.
And to the people you're reviewing.
Yeah, trust me, I worked in a little tiny newspaper where nothing ever happened that mattered. But you think, but it does matter. It matters to someone out there, and you can defame someone very, very easily. An incorrect fact will go around the world before the truth puts on its pants. That's just how it is.
And now with social media, you can be tagged on Twitter, and you'll know you made a mistake within a minute.
Right. You remember Spike?
Yeah. Do you remember that? Oh yes. Well, I mean, remember like some Martin Luther King quote. I forget what it was, but they came out with it out.
Yeah. It was milk. Yeah, it was like Milk Day instead of Martin Luther King Day.
No, I don't remember. It was some inspirational quote, and it was like making the rounds on Twitter, and then it came out that Martin Luther King never actually said that.
That's a joke on Reddit. Anytime someone says a quote is something, everyone says, "Oh yeah, Abraham Lincoln."
Yeah. And I just remember Bill Corbett tweeting like, "You motherfucker, we'll tweet anything if my name is on it, Martin Luther King."
But yeah, also Spike Lee. Very recently, you remember the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman case was still going on. Some guy was tweeted, he's staying here. This is where he is because he was out on bail at the time.
Well,
Spike Lee not understanding the internet.
Or the responsibility.
Well, Spike Lee retweets literally everything. If you retweet "Hey Spike, my foot hurts," he will retweet it. And he retweeted. Yeah, he'd be like, "Ouch, RT." Yeah, and he retweeted these people's address.
Turned out a George Zimmerman lived there, not the George Zimmerman,
and he was like this elderly couple.
Very similar. And okay, this is very pertinent to the conversation because this is real media. This just happened.
What's CNN?
No, I was thinking. I don't know how big news is in Canada, but with the shootings in Colorado.
Yes.
Okay, and so there was a guy on ABC News that that morning said, "Hey, there's a guy with the name of the suspected killer, and he is a Tea Party member in the area."
Yeah.
And he just said, he's like, "I don't know necessarily the same guy, but hey, here he is." And
Fuck you, Tea
wasn't
Party.
all the same guy.
Because it's Tea Party.
Yeah,
Because
he was
Tea
just
Party.
and so
Tea Party.
he got.
So clearly,
And I hope someone got fired.
Yeah.
Not yet.
What did you see? The real funny thing was in the healthcare law, everybody was sitting outside the Supreme Court waiting, and CNN's like, "The mandate has been struck down."
Yeah, they read the first page.
And they're like, oh.
Yeah.
So it's funny because online media gets a lot of shit, but traditional media has its own problems as well.
I think the problem is a lot of times the misinformation will spread, and then once the correction gets around, it might not necessarily get to
Right, and
they might feel the need to.
and that's something you can do. You don't have to, that's a screw up you can make, and it can't hurt somebody.
These online
fact check,
so bloggers.
Yes.
Double check.
Don't fuck
So,
with it.
Now with the internet, I think we're now starting to lose TV or even the papers. We're really focusing on the internet, and especially if you heard about the fiber. And with America now getting 1 gig with the internet in Kansas, If you have a feeling that North America is now going to catch up towards the internet, how do you feel that now there's going to be, I guess, a more popular audience with varying different minds? Because you said that media has more academic people, but people also like angry video gamer.
Well, I think MVG and stuff could still have way bigger views, but I think the main reason for that is because, and obviously this doesn't apply to everyone, so I don't think I'm really insulting anyone, but by and large, they have a much younger fan base. And by and large, the internet is younger. And I feel like if you're 12, 13, you're going to watch Red Letter, you're not going to have that attention span. You know, it's like 90 minutes. And like, because I know it's like a lot of Dubs fans have come up to me and been like, I didn't like you when I was like 16, but now that I'm in college, I like you now. Because like, I understand, you know, like, because I'm obviously geared more towards the adult audience.
Yeah, I think they told us at our website that our average age was like 20.
Yeah, it was like 20, but that's really old.
Yeah.
For like, yeah, they're like,
I
don't want to grow up.
Yeah.
I think myself, I agree with you. I'm not so much with the Jerry jokes and certainly not with the raw shit. But, so consequently, yeah.
Fuck, because you just go fuck.
So I mean,
Millions.
I think according to YouTube, it's like my audience more skews in their 20s. So yeah, it's
That's it. Well, you know, the internet skews with younger audience because the internet is younger. It's a younger medium. But as you know, as we get old, our audience is
We're like blue hairs in my internet scene.
yeah. As we, you know, the audience for the internet is going to grow older too, and the internet for audience for television and newspapers are going to continue to
I'm
shrink.
pretty sure like I don't know if TV will shrink because TV is like
It's easy. It's already started to shrink.
sure, you know, fighting for the trends.
More online media.
Well, yeah,
It's streamable.
well, television, like they're trying to work with web media, but at the same time, if TV feels threatened by, like, it's sort of like beer. Because,
It always comes back
yeah, it
to
doesn't
you.
matter, because, like,
translating to Canadian.
yeah, so like in the United States, 80% of all beer sold is made by 3 companies, now 2 companies, and that's Bud Miller. And then you have like another 15% that are imports, and then another 5% that are craft beers. But the craft beers are like growing at a very rapid clip. They're like 200-300% a year, whereas the mid-free are just flatlining. So they are kind of trying to get into the fake craft beer thing, like Budweiser craft beer, and then trying to soothe the little guys out of existence because they're like they're not big, but they're getting big. So I feel like something.
Well, this is not about beer.
Yeah, well, I feel like something similar is on the horizon as far as internet media.
Like, I think something drastic going to change in the next couple of years.
Yeah, like, 'cause, like, you see that with television, where they kind of try to, like, make web tie-ins, and they...
But, you know, it's fun to
AMC's
us.
usually progressive with that, though. They got this thing called second screen.
Yeah, but it's not, like, for the most part, they're not lucrative yet.
Yeah.
And they see this, like, giant audience, and their TV brains don't understand how to monetize it.
Yeah, and but you have these online outlets that are kind of branching into original, like they're producing, or at least, I guess, commissioning original web content, like Amazon, like Hulu, like Flip, and that they're kind of dipping their
Flip
toes.
totally cheated, though. Yeah, they waited for us to get popular, and they're like, Live Studios.
So they're not really starting from the ground floor. but
Yeah, no,
Hulu's
they're
there.
not. But I mean, that's a smart
Yeah,
thing to
yeah.
do because when you start, like, on the internet historically, when people funnel like $200,000-$300,000 into a web series and put it out there, 99 times out of 100 it doesn't go anywhere because the things that have done really well online have been like grassroots guy with a camera saying things, or like the Guild, I think has been like the highest profile webs, or like, you know, it's been like weird shit that you don't find on television because when they try to make television for the web, it just doesn't work because we already have television.
There was a series up here in Canada years ago, and I don't think it's around. They're not making any episodes. The series was called Pure Ownage.
Yeah.
And this series started as a web series, then got picked up as a television series.
What about Bitchin' Kitchen?
Fuck that.
Explain that, Canada.
She's not at all enjoyable. It's an annoying experience.
I got banned from her Facebook group for calling her out. Yeah, because I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. I hate that.
I've become
I
so
hate her
fascinated
voice.
with Bitchin' Kitchen because it's like the joke is that you're
And maybe because he talked about it, she didn't do it.
yeah.
I think I'm the one that told what's your face about that? Nella, I'm like, look at this stupid shit.
Yeah, no, we were. I think we were just watching the Cooking Channel one day, and she came on, and we were like, but that is like, what? And then they got picked up, and now they're on the Cooking Channel.
Yeah. Well, that rarely happens. And,
Yeah, that really happens. I haven't gotten the call yet.
I'll make some.
When you try and make a sitcom for the internet, just like a regular 23-minute sitcom, and it will not work.
Well, do you think that maybe like these kind of shows would be like the next version of pilots? Like these are what the TV stations are going to look at for big broadcast?
No, because I think there is going to be unique to the internet media. Like I think the Guild is a good example of that. Like it was made for the internet, it exists on the internet, it's different format, length, look, like that. I mean, I can see it getting picked up, but I don't think it wants to, and I don't think it would flourish. Kind of like when My Big Fat Greek Wedding was a movie, and then they made My Big Fat Greek Life, and it, you know, like that's been on. So
Let's make a TV show about the Geico caveman.
Genius.
Try to
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the Homestar Learning people resisted for the longest time, which they never did. There was like constant talk of them joining like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or something, and you know, it wouldn't. I'm glad they did because they would come with like so many restrictions on what they could do, and you know, that's the great thing about the internet is that you have that freedom that you don't have in television and you don't have in print.
Actually, just on that note, if you don't mind me asking, what about Annoying Orange? Because that is actually
Pretty annoying.
Annoying Orange is a series that it's kind of blown up, but all of a sudden Cartoon Network is taking it up. What do you feel about that? Because it's actually it's going on television, and they've already done a few shows, and because they've actually been kind of successful on TV. It just I don't see it lasting. That's the only thing.
Well, you know what I said earlier about the internet being very young, and like I look at Annoying Orange, and my brain just goes.
Oh.
But I think that because I'm 30, and like you know, the Annoying Orange is graphics, and
It's like making us watch Fresh.
Oh God, dear God, no.
Two. Yeah. I had to watch it.
I'm sorry.
I still.
it's Annoying Orange.
There's two of them now.
Two friends.
There's two friends now.
Movies?
Yes, that were on
Some
Nickelodeon.
studio.
Oh.
Can someone explain this Annoying Orange?
It's a giant face that, like, just for. I
It's
don't know,
super
how
close
long
to
is-
an orange.
How long are the videos? Like 5 minutes?
Less than like
Yeah, so
Just
2 minute,
if they-
2 minute videos where these two faces on fruit and vegetables. It's like basically a retarded veggie camps.
So this can get picked up if Dr. Tran can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
And now they have an entire 30-minute show.
30 minutes.
For, like 22 minutes.
It's
Yeah,
orange
for,
being annoying.
yeah, for
Yeah,
like a
it's
full
really-
TV series with plot or what
Wait,
they
with
can call
plot?
it. What they
There's
can call it.
there's substance. What?
Oh no, I love plot.
What they can call it plot was some poor writer has to write for a 22-minute thing about a bunch of retarded vegetables. Please don't take a picture of this.
What I like.
Two girls,
You
one
are
cup.
fucking kidding me.
That is popular.
No, you're not even listening.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Okay, man, we got something. I don't know that, but we had something that they called the Big Bang Rats, which was actually exactly the same but these were the small dolls that they were
They
using.
come quite annoying.
It became huge and they got picked up on TV, and but it lasted for like 2 years. It was bad.
Wait, are you talking about Anana? Hold on.
That got popular enough for a TV show.
Thank you.
Somebody needs to be pushed to shit.
Millions of
No,
views.
but like this was like when everyone.
Guys.
Oh, sorry. Do you remember when the Yogi Bear movie came out?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't like. I had to see it because I didn't like Hollywood rules, you had like an act 1, act 2, act 3, there's an overarching plot and an antagonist, and I saw the trailer and I was like, I can't see what the plot to this could possibly be. That's how I feel. That was basically what it was. But with that, I'm like,
to wrap in a nice little bow, that's the kind of stuff that being online journalists you have to fight against, because that is old fogies perception, old media. The internet, it's all stuff like that.
I'm gonna step up
cat
my game.
videos.
So it's important.
It's funny because they remember the advent of the internet when it was all like.
Al Gore and
Yeah, it was.
Al Gore and a rock.
It's like all they saw like the kids watching these stupid flash animations like on albino black sheep. It's like, oh, so this is this internet thing. Let me go back to my stories.
I think it's funny, remember Newgrounds and albino black sheep, like 5 years from now, it's gonna be like, remember that guy with the glasses? That was a thing once.
You were talking about the big companies taking up some stuff and some other stuff, and going against like the internet. Are you sometimes afraid that with things like SOPA and things like that, that they're kind of trying to stop you from taking over their turf?
Maybe, but I think the thing is that, yes, definitely that's a thing, but I also kind of feel like I don't feel threatened because you're always evolving. How many more years can I wear pigtails before it starts looking weird? I can't. Yeah, I can't. I can't do this forever. So it's like if legislation does pass, that makes it more threatening.
Well, what's cool is it's like we always have the power to evolve. Like if you're picked up by a studio or something, it's like
yeah,
this is
we
the way
want
it is.
this one thing or
it's
nothing.
like bam, simulacrum. There will be no deviation.
Because I know, like, without spoiling too much, Doug and the Chicago channel Awesome Side they're about to start like some new stuff.
Paradigm shift.
So yeah, there's gonna be a paradigm shift that's less reviewy for that reason. They want to try. They're going to try some more.
Pick up more sketch people.
Yeah, that's why they haven't.
Yes, we're turning into a news station.
Yeah, that's why they haven't been picking up new reviewers. They're looking to expand into sketchy.
Yeah.
Sketchy.
So like that'll we'll see how that works out. But we're kind of doing similar by starting a new channel that's more documentary oriented. Funny documentary.
To go non-channel awesome for just a moment.
Non-channel awesome. That exists.
Same thing at Retroware TV is for the longest time it was reviews. I mean the most famous denizen is probably the Happy Video Game Nerd, obviously.
Game Chasers.
That. Yeah, we're now picking up things like the Game Chasers, which is essentially American Pickers for video games. I don't even know if you guys get American Pickers.
Yes, we do.
No, okay.
We have Canadian Pickers.
Canadian Pickers.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, at least you know the idea.
You're in a different world.
It's like Canadian Pickers for video games. and we also have a new a show we've been working on all year, Video Game Years, which is
awesome.
it's kind of like I love the '80s for video games. So it's more than just a review. It's a show, and that's the kind of stuff we're looking for now.
Infotainment, right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's.
Which sounds a little bit more.
Well, I think that's effectively what we do. Like, I feel like people aren't. I mean, like, especially for like those of us that like with him, you're not looking for a ritual pop song. Do I want to listen to this kind of thing? It's like you. 99 times out of 100, you're going to see it.
Yeah, if you're going to start right now trying to be a reviewer, that's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
That's why I'm not like
Well, there's kind of one thing to go along about this. I mean, I've seen I'd love to get Brandon panels opinion on this. There is a disturbing amount of people that tell me they want to do online reviewing like a nerd like Doug and think it's a sustainable career. Does that not terrify you in some way? But these are people in college or people that are just getting ready to go into
Well, that's what I try to tell everyone. It's like, you inspired me to be an internet reviewer. Like,
no.
Well, I mean, like even me, like I was riding some serious coattails when I did it, and I started with like a big advantage over everyone else in the site, and it still took me like 2 years to where it became sustainable living-wise, and another year after that, before like we signed a contract
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Well, but
Like,
even because even he got in on somewhat the ground floor with the whole reviewing thing. So.
He has been around.
Yeah, see, that's
But he hasn't won.
you know, if,
I know.
I tell everyone not to do it, and if you still do it, then that means you probably shouldn't be doing it, as if you ignore my advice on that. So that's, you know, I just want to weed out like the,
Especially Cooper.
yeah.
You still have the guts to go forward.
Well, you
Yeah.
know, Brent Hasmo, he does a show called Eats Okay. You haven't seen it, I recommend it. But it's funny because he's like, I finally got my first dye faggot. And he's been doing this for like a year and a half, and I was actually kind of impressed. Yeah, no, because I mean, like usually I started getting like slut my first day. It took him a year to get dye
It took me
faggot.
forever to get a smut.
Yeah.
Actually, I was,
High five.
I was actually more honored. They put me on Wikipedia. I was like, oh yeah, it's Wikipedia. They put me on like Encyclopedia Dramatica. I'm like, yes!
You made it.
I have pissed off enough people.
Yeah, and then they're not creative enough to tell you stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's.
I've luckily dodged that.
Yeah, you know,
Alright, bro.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Just but whenever I'm like watching you guys, like I watch the Solid Trick because like I want to laugh, but I like it when you guys like whatever like I can watch it. I can laugh, but like what I'm more drawn in, I'm more intense. Like what I'm asking is how like do you guys make like how like so that you can like draw in an audience and like maybe so that you don't need as much comedy in order to be seen as like digital experience or something like that.
I actually just got a great response to this on Twitter last night, actually. I had a fan come up to me. I'm actually going to read the tweet, so just give me a second to roll it up. She says, the reason I like you, Mike, is... Come on, there we go. The fact you are so relatable is why I stick with you. And that's why I follow your work. I find if you're very real with who you are, people like, on my show, I try to do the comedy thing. I'm not you guys. I'm funny because I say fuck, but because I mean it. Like, this is bullshit, here's why. But if you're very open and you share yourself with your audience, and you kind of, I use the phrase, I guess that's so funny, project your soul into it, people connect with that. They find you're very real.
Assumed you were house.
Yeah, mine's black and
I stole mine the second I got home.
yeah, as far as, you know, funny appeal, you just gotta find out, you know, you just have to find it on your own. Some of us, like Doug or Brad Jones, Cinesnob, put themselves in a character, and that's what they do. Other than, you know, try and think of, like, things to say about this that no one else would notice, no one else would.
But you do it too, though. Like,
Yeah.
But like
I mean, we both do it, like, people, like, I'm a loser.
Right.
In our respective
that's more like
ways.
a self-deprecation thing.
Well, for me, I feel like like with the All Dogs Go to Heaven thing, where we were just like, this is an interesting point. We are going to, you know, our draw for this particular episode is to be interesting, and this is interesting to me, so I hope other people will find it interesting. And I think interesting is just as valid as funny. Like if you were drawn in by whatever. So, I mean, then sometimes obviously it's not. Like I'll start talking about like those, you know, social trends in Bratislava or whatever. People be like,
So a lot of internet criticism to this point is like really based on snark and really like trying to find the funniest thing or this thing needs work. Do you think there's a place for unabashed ironic actual appreciation?
Absolutely.
Happy video.
yeah,
That's right.
I make a couple of points, then I'll stand up and be like, fuckity fuck. Okay.
But it was just like, I remember like Lupa had that one of the review that made me laugh so hard. She was just talking about, I like this, and she's like, oh wait, this is supposed to be a funny review. I just died.
Can you be entertaining while you're being celebrated?
Yeah,
it's
I
hard.
mean, my most popular review is Labyrinth, and I thought I liked that
because
movie.
being a positive viewer is just like so off the wall now. It's not what people expect. It's like, oh, here's a review. He's gonna be angry.
Yeah, no, like when I did All Dogs Go to Heaven, I got so many preemptively angry comments, and I'm like, I'm not Doug, damn it! I don't shit on everything.
Well, you know, you're just gonna burn yourself out if you try and snark through everything.
Yeah.
Some things are, it gets so
tiring.
if you don't get burned out, your audience will get burned out.
Well, like, going back to like putting your soul into it. I mean, if you have an angry, withered, black little soul, it's going to come out to your videos. You're going to be like really good angry videos. But if you're,
But you gotta burn out quicker.
exactly.
Well, the thing is, do you know Dimanda Hack?
Yeah.
She does the 20 Who review, and she shows that she loves Doctor Who, and she's so angry that this particular episode messed it up. So she
Yeah,
still
Nash
loves
does
the
that.
series, and it's because her love of the series that you understand why she's angry. It's like, no, this continuity.
Yeah, like, you gotta give a shit.
Yeah.
Or where's the anger come from?
Yeah, I've seen reviewers who just shit on everything, but you can tell it's just like for the sake of comedy. It's not for the sake of even say Doug, who's, all it does is make reviews. It has to come from a real place because you have to have like values, or else all you're starting to meaningless.
Yeah.
It's just it's disappointed you in some way because you're not just some asshole, who's like fuck, I hate this for no reason.
And what's funny is that Mike brought up is that probably the forerunner of all of it is somewhat rare still to find someone who's happy with something, but I think half video gamer is probably the forerunner of all that because pretty early on he said, you know what, it'd be funny if someone was happy about a video game instead of shitting on
He's
it.
actually really good at turning a negative into a positive.
I know, but the funny thing is that he's very emphatic. He has that, I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
I
like,
think
he'll be like, fuck, I love this DuckTales. This is awesome, fucking great. So it sounds similar to Angry Video Game Nerd, but it's completely
shit
opposite.
tickle it.
Exactly. So,
I mean, it's niche.
That also subverts. I think maybe like everybody keeps asking me to do something on Twilight. Maybe I'll go positive Twilight.
That's possible.
Somehow I'll find something good.
You have an uneven table?
It was all a dream.
one of the greatest things.
I gotta do something with that.
Surprise. One of the greatest things to do is surprise the audience because
Yeah.
if they're expecting something, you just give them what they expect after a while.
Yeah, that's people hate change.
It's
Like,
weird.
No, that's a big thing. Like,
But I do sort of love messing with people's perceptions. If they come in expecting one thing, I'd love to give the exactly the opposite.
So, in case of your assumption, your reviews originally started very much on jealousy, and you moved on to more of the analysis. My favorite comment, it's bullshit, but here's why. That's why I actually enjoy it. Have you found the amount of work you put into an episode has increased massively?
Yeah, definitely. It takes a lot longer than it's not like, yeah, I mean, I feel like, and I think it is, like, I was concerned at first, but, like, my reviews have developed since this time last year, which is like, I've been doing it for 2.5 years by that point anyway, and once I kind of started, like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it the way I want to do it, I'm not gonna worry about, like, it's one of those, I'm gonna do it live, like, I think people responded to it, like, I've been doing better, yeah. And then actually going to, like, I was actually doing production films really helped. But whenever you actually have to make movies and write them, you understand where shit goes wrong on a studio level.
It's good to see that Stardom finally has gotten away from that sort of unattainable, lofty, oh, there's a star, we'll never interact with anyone. And now it's actually got away from that.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
regular jackasses like us.
Yeah. Now you
Or
can see
Crispy
the real asshole.
Lover.
I
write you very angry letters.
I am people, because of that, because people write long pieces via email, and I look at it and read it all, and I'm like, wow, I feel like I need to sit down and just write a half-hour response back, and then I just never get around to it. Because
But I
it's
do
so
the
long.
same thing, and I feel so bad. Like,
So, yeah, and
I
that's
just
what
never
Twitter's
respond.
for.
Yeah.
Because someone just something that was you can just respond, and it's
Yeah.
great to interact with people that way, and at first I didn't get Twitter,
But Twitter is the best.
That's actually where that comes from. Now the Twitter thing, it's like now it's like, okay, when
Okay,
you
right.
talk to Tom
Is there
Hanks, now it's on
anyone
Twitter.
that has like an amazing
quick
and I don't know, like mind blowing? Yes, no
Come
pressure.
on, Alex.
How do you feel about your community as you evolve? Has it gone tremendously bad or has it gone tremendously good?
Because I like the stupid has given up.
It's gotten,
I get less shit now, which is nice.
all I've noticed from mine is that it's gone larger, and I used to answer every question I got, and now I just can't find time anymore, and that's difficult.
aside from my paycheck, obviously. But
It's a good yet awful problem.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a good.
The fact that I'm able to be to relate more with my audience. Last year when I came out, when I was diagnosed with bipolar, a lot of people came in.
Seems to be a lot of that going around.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's like contagious.
It's like the tax box. But I find my audiences, they're so much more sympathetic, and they want to tell you their story. And I love being able to find the time to write back to these people and communicate with those people. I think it's, I don't know, I feel more connected with, sounds cheesy, more connected with humanity because I have opened myself up with this. So I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Being crazy.
Well, you know, I guess we can like hit out the mall. Is there another panel? Is there what? Another panel right now? Yeah, there's another panel.
Okay. Well, I'm next door in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
I've got prizes.
Well, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.